Only took about 100 hours. Actually, I think I can do the math on this. We're on the 5th movie. Each movie is about 12 hours. We are 5 hours into the 5th movie, so that puts us at 53 hours. That's how long we've been playing. Only 302 left to go before we've beaten the entire game. At the current rate of 2 hours every Friday, that should be done in 3 years. Welp, better get started. Try as I might, I cannot shake the creeping sense of dark foreboding, but it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the grand companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such a time as permitted as a until such time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. As for the Asians, Oriange is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you knew already. Let us speak then of more current matters, in particular, the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphino did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would not go astray. To this end, I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he can be, independent to a fault, and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. I was gonna say, like, he's asking me for help constantly. Alpha Note has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go to him and support him in whatever manner you are able. Okay. There's also like the small chance that I suddenly become a successful streamer overnight. Like, that may happen. And if that does happen, my 2-hour Final Fantasy streams will turn into 8-hour Final Fantasy streams. In which case, maybe we could do this in 2 years? I don't know. The most conservative estimates I have of when I will be a successful full-time streamer is like 6.5 years from now. Like, enough to quit my day job, that is. Well, at least it gives you a roadmap for the future. I still have a lot to catch up on YouTube. I'm only on video 15 of this playlist. I hope you do. Yeah, I think you have the personality for it. I think so too. It's been very reaffirming. Everyone's been so nice and like telling me to continue. Like, honestly, I expected a lot more hate than I got. Like, I thought the internet was largely a rude place, but I don't know, maybe it's the new generation. But people just seem to be a lot nicer than I expected. I shouldn't believe the internet about, like, how awful all people are all the time. Like, I played a fighting game recently, Guilty Gear Strive, and that, when I played, like, 15 years ago, that was one of, like, the meanest and rudest communities I've ever been a part of. And so I expected to immediately get just torn to shreds on the internet. And instead, I got tons of support and like people saying like, you should play more. Like, even though like it was my first time playing in like 12 years. Like, it's just cool how everyone's been super nice. Like, I do think this can work. If only I didn't have my full-time job getting in the way of things. It's going to be a very slow grind up until then. What was I doing? I had a thought. Alpha Node, interrupt me. What is it, old? Do be concise, I'm rather busy. Oh, I know. You said you're only on video 15 of this playlist. I recommend you switch to the Final Fantasy XIV, the movie playlist, for this particular game. Like, the main playlist is like mostly an arranging of like all of the quests in the main storyline. In case somebody like gets stuck on one, they can like find that exact quest in the list. But if you watch the movie playlist, I've stitched everything together. And I think you will see less ads as a whole if you watch the movie playlist instead of like the individual playlist. But if you prefer the individual playlist, like, who am I to judge? I mean, like, I appreciate you and thank you for like the 15 extra cents of ad revenue I get. Let's see, I think those people are out there, but you don't attract those people, like you mentioned about how like attracts like. That's true. That's true. Like, I do see like the anger and controversy based streamers having just some of the worst communities I've ever seen in my life. I'm glad I'm not doing that. Was it, old? And do be concise. I am rather busy. You would lend a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men want for labor, though we are but newly formed. There is already a great demand for our services, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions. But I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend this particular matter myself. But my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilberd. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance, old. There is another trick into not getting like terrible people into your community. There are certain platforms that deliberately try to put things that make you angry in front of you because you are more likely to interact with them. Two of those places would be like Facebook and Twitter. Now, I have both a Facebook page and a Twitter, and I do basically nothing with them. Like, the only thing I post on Twitter is my schedule, because like some people prefer Twitter as like their news source, and I would highly recommend against that. But as long as I just post like my schedule there, I'm not going to attract people who hate me. Like, I won't have reach. I'm not going to become famous on Twitter. And I won't reach as many people. But I won't be deliberately put in front of people who actually hate me. And that seems like a good strategy for me. I mean, like, if that's the strategy that works for Twitter, good for Twitter. But, you know, I'd rather not be, like, dropped in the middle of, you know, the worst people in the world who want to murder me for having an opinion. And yeah, I wouldn't call that success. Being seen by more people is not success in and of itself. A lot of content creators need to realize that. You understand that? You wouldn't want that either? Yeah. A lot of people just look at like views and stuff as like the only measure of success. And like you can do things to get a lot of views, but it won't like directly translate into success. Like you actually have to be yourself out here. And you have to attract people by being yourself. Otherwise, when you attract, 10 million people and then you suddenly act like yourself, they won't take it well. That's just how it goes. That's why I try to be basically the same as how I started. I might grow and evolve as a human being, but like I just imagine that to be me turning nicer and older. So, yeah. If you're watching me, expect more of the same forever. Because that's what you get. I'm done. My VTuber is an actual representation of who I want to be.
Hail to you, Scion. How might we serve you?
You have a voice too?
Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us?
Leveilleur?
These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence. Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the grand companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge, but we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Reborn of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purpose by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-man army like you.
Woo! Alright, where am I going? All the way to the Hall of Flames. That's a walk. Rain feels nice. Like, it's imaginary rain, but like... I like bad weather like this. Especially in times where, like, I feel like I need to do a million things. Like, bad weather makes me feel like the rest of the world will slow down for a little bit. You know, out of fear of getting wet, and so, like, I have time to breathe. That's why winter's my favorite season.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
No one can leave their house. They can't ask me for stuff. And I can just keep playing video games.
He is here at my behest. Greetings, Reborn. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you! The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye. We've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Hilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Bah, spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to him, I'm little more than a glorified butcher.
You're
But
a great
Wilbur,
butcher.
You sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway.
I like this club where we just flatter each other.
Tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the Monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first?
JC, I did see your question. I'm waiting for them to shut up. I'll be there in a second.
Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days and drink to the future of our homeland. Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Roban's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
Yeah, it was fun. Invite me out again sometime, so that I may cancel at the last minute. Knocked gauntlets. I wonder if they look good.